Hi, my name is Demara, and I'm going to be reading today again one of the channeled messages that I've received from the higher beings. And these have all been recently in the last 12 months or so. And these are all about the changes that we are going through, not only as the human collective that we are a part of, but the earth itself. So these are really important messages. And this one I'm going to read today is number 14. They've all been given to me by me actually asking which ones they want me to read, because I've already taken down the 42 truth testaments. And each time I just ask which one. And this is the one for today. And all of them are really guidance for us. And in a way, they are there for us to prompt our own inner memories of why we're here and what we knew about the changes that are coming. Because every one of us that incarnated would have known that we were coming at this particular time for a reason. And this is why there are so many people in this generation that are attempting to awaken their missions, you know, who they really are and what they're really meant to be doing, because it's encoded in our inner systems of technology. We actually have a very complex human technology, and these messages are about prompting us through the words and the things that they're talking about that will prompt your own memories within. So very important to listen to them with a mind to awakening yourselves, and doing this by putting your awareness on what they're saying. And I have suggested many times before I read these messages that people put their attention on the sound of my voice rather than the words, because then you're not listening with a limited resource, which is just the understanding part of your mind, because your mind's going to understand the words anyway. It's very competent at that. But if you listen to the sound, you are listening to the resonance of the words that they've put together and the way that they are connecting them. So let's get on with Truth Testament number 14. As you may already know, there have been several energetic releases recently, one from a volcano and many more smaller type earthquakes. But the first of the final releases before we are in full flow of the real cleansing will occur over the next period of time. As you know, these are at present not affecting much of the human occupation on planet Earth, but these releases are only the preempt to the much bigger releases. Over the next period of time, the large releases will begin. You need to be able to initiate change wherever you can in your lives, so that you are not so preoccupied that you do not pick up the pre-warnings, which are always there for you to receive. Any energy releases have pre-warnings as they begin and before they begin. This is why the animals are aware and take to the hills way before any of the humans. They are not preoccupied, but are truly living in the moment. This moment is the one that matters, so do not tarry far away from this moment. This is not a time to be in the future or in the past, for these two states are what take you more often than not away from the life being lived in the moment. We can't warn you enough of the fact that it will be completely to do with the state of mind that you are in that governs your safety or not. There are no warning towers that activate as quick as your real, intuitive state. Do we make ourselves clear? It is not others that are going to warn you. It is your true self that can warn you, and will, if you allow it, to be to the forefront of your existence. It is now not about anyone else. This is truly the point at which you must be every man, woman for themselves. In this way, it is also every man, woman for their family safety too, because you are then able to warn those close to you when to move, go, stay put, or in fact not do anything at all when it is appropriate. It is all to do with your state of being, not the state of the Earth planet. The Earth planet will complete her cleansing with you or without you, which is something we have said in all the channelings. We do not wait for man to wake up before we allow all of these cleansings to occur. It is not part of universal law, for you are only part of yourselves when on earth, and not in the full stream of your soul unity. When you are in full stream soul unity, then you do not question any of these happenings. And when you return, you will rejoice with all of us at the perfection of the cleansings that will occur. It is all part of the soul unity that must be accepted. Back to our present situation, we must not take you away to the thoughts of total soul unity yet. We must allow you to journey along this pathway, making your own decisions and not those given to you, for we are not your masters, but your fellow soul family. This is all so consuming to you that there are masters, but it is not so. It is so that we are called by these categorizations, but we are all equal and will not be there to save you if you fail to pick up yourselves. We are all equal and will not be there to save you if you fail to pick yourselves up and carry on with the power and source energy that you have full capacity to use during these changes. We can pick up no one. It is not in the capacity of any of us. We cannot perform those miracles that you keep expecting with some of your dialogues that spout words of salvation that do not come from us. They come from an old text which is no longer relevant during this human evolutionary cycle of change. We have no control over you and have no desire to have this given to us. It is the same for you when you are not earthbound. You will have no control over anyone who is on the earth planet. We have some control over ourselves, but not as you understand control. We are part of the cosmos in an energetic way, but not a controlling way. We have access to all sorts of powers and interceptions where we can relate and interrelate on many different levels. But none of these are indeed about control or wishing to have any control over other energetic beings. We are going into this in much more detail because we see that many are expecting to be picked up or ascended up to other areas of the universe in order to survive these splendid changes which have to occur. This is not going to happen. You are not being floated off to some deep space paradise in order to so-called survive. You must all be a part of your survivals, which is really your own evolvement if you wish to use the correct term. You are evolving into the higher nature class of the human being, which means that you will pull on and bring down your full power of higher being through the energetic connections that you have from Earth through to the cosmic universe. We have more to say, but we will leave you with these mutterings so far, so as not to give you more than you have yet ingested, as this will cause you much indigestion on a thought level. Take these mutterings as the essence of the tale being told. Do not keep delving into more and more indigestible, crazy hypotheses, which take your mind and perception away from the basics. You are the power, the light, the way, and the force of these changes. You just decided to be frontline witnesses, whilst we plan to be in the universal lines of power, waving you on. But as time has gone on, you have waved goodbye to us, and we are now left with attempting to ask you to take back that promise, that contract, and activate your real blueprints once more. It will be so much easier for you when you solidly take back your blueprints and recommit once again. Whilst you dither with your premonitions, your illusions, and your false claims of having been wronged by some outside power forces, you dissolve more and more of your original contracts. You are the ones you are waiting for. Nothing will ever change that. Pull on those cords of connection and we will be there for you. And thank you for listening to that. Do you know, it's really interesting where they keep telling us over and over in all of these 42 truth testaments to realize and realign back with our power, our real power. And it makes me so aware of how much we've given up. Some people more than others. And I think one of the really interesting things is when I'm not working or doing other things, like I like working with plants and other people with their energy fields, healing, and I do intuitive work a lot. But when I'm not, I watch the occasional Netflix. That's the only thing I have on a large screen is Netflix. And I was watching the other day, it's a series on all these, what do you call it, artifacts of religions. And the whole series is about how people believe that miracles come from these tiny shards of wood that are in this complex metal structure where they're holding them because they're so valuable. And people walk in procession behind these when they're brought out, like once a year, wherever they are. And then there's the crown of thorns, which is just pieces of wood that were, so they say, picked up at the time of the so-called crucifixion. And those also are I think those are in Notre Dame, the Cathedral Notre Dame in Paris. But there is this huge thing, and people cry when they go in front of them, and they talk about miracles happening, and they go and they want to pray to be made well. And what people are, goodness, having watched through 2.5 of them, I think, I then switched it off because I really didn't need to watch anymore. One of the other ones was the chalice cup at the Last Supper. And I personally went on this whole, oh my goodness, took about a mission. It was a real mission, and it was very dangerous as well, which a lot of things are when you have this sort of idea that you're going to go and see this amazing thing. There's a whole string of synchronicities and events that occur, and this was the chalice that is supposedly in Glastonbury and is not allowed out. It's in a vault and occasionally is put into the Glastonbury building. And I'm trying to think what that's called. I can't think now. At the Chalice Well, actually, the house at the Chalice Well. And you build up, and I built this up over a period of about 2 days on my adventure, in inverted commas, which really was an adventure, trying to get down there at this particular time. And what you're doing is you're building your own belief and connection during the whole thing. And then it was quite interesting because it was I was left alone with this chalice, and it was a real meditative experience. But it's really interesting because what I see and have seen again on watching 2.5 of this series is that people totally ignore what they're saying here. And they're saying what are said to be the words of the Nazarene. I mean, I'm not religious. I don't have a religious bone in my body. I operate very much on what I know, what I've experienced from the light, the divine, the energy, the soul path. I don't relate to any of the church establishments or the stories behind any of them. So I've always called this incredible man who did all his work and disciplines through the Essene scrolls, that we're now, you could be taught that through those Dead Sea Scrolls, the ones that aren't in the Bible, which is all about meditation and holiness and cleanness in your body and your thoughts and mind, all of that. So to me, he is the Nazarene. But he, in the manuscript that wasn't put in the Bible, that was said to have been written by the Nazarene, and also in occasional chapters in the Bible, it is said that what he said was, you are the way. You are the way, the peace, the light. You are the power. And, a piece of this that I always used when I ran healing courses. I used to run 2-day healing courses at my Centre of Intuitive Living in the UK. And I always read this piece, even though I wasn't religious, but I related to the fact that there could be this man who really had reached his higher self in that lifetime. And that was everything. I may not be quoting this exact. Everything I can do, you can do, and more. And that really helped to say things like that to people, because people, if they have any religious history behind them in their lives and how they were brought up, they feel that we should not be healers. So I always said that to help those who were in the room who might have that idea. Because even coming from the voice of somebody like that and was actually related, that is a bit that was in the Bible, but there's so much more in the manuscripts that are from, said to have been written by and dictated out or whatever from Jesus. And they were not allowed in the Bible because they really gave people the power back. And that's why they're not and weren't chosen to be. There were many, many manuscripts that were left out of the Bible, but I'm going to leave you to go and do your research. I certainly went down that rabbit hole for quite a long period of time and wrote articles about it, actually, which are still on Hub Pages, I believe. But what I'm getting to here is that we are the power. We are the light. We have the light bodies within us. We have the ability to activate them, as did Jesus, or as we call him, Jesus, or as I call him, the Nazarene. And he did that. So he was able to heal. I could tell you stories about healing from the healing sessions that we ran at my centre that would make your hair stand on end, things that happen. And also when we had group healing sessions down at Glastonbury at the time of the harmonic convergence in 1987, where incredible things happened within that healing room. There were thousands who met. What actually happened there was thousands of people met at the holy places, or the power points. These are power energy points, ley line points actually, and Glastonbury is one of them. And I took a party of people from my centre down to Glastonbury, and quite a few of us volunteered to do an hour, 2 hours in the healing room as healers. And because of the joined energies there, that there may have been 10 people doing healing at the same time, we also joined in the name of the harmonic convergence, which was brought down through the American Indian traditions, the native Indian traditions, and were words that were given many years ago. And I think some of it might have come from South America as well as North America. But because of the entwined energy and our intent, incredible things happened. So we know we have the ability, but if you are putting that together with religion, I mean, I had a knock on my door when I was living in a little country town in England, and it was a Jehovah's Witness. And this man got so angry after he tried to get me to take his leaflet about the Jehovah's Witnesses and their religion. And I said I really didn't need that, and that I was running a healing group down at my centre. And he was so furious. I thought he was going to hit me. I thought he was actually going to lay hands on me, not in a healing way, but he was going to hit out at me because it went so against what he'd been indoctrinated to understand. And yet we did incredible things down at the healing centre, where people were helped in many, many different ways. So everything about religion blocks our power, our technology, and every one of the channelings I'm giving you is telling you about your power, about the fact that you can reconnect with the soul part of yourself, which is in another dimension, and you can connect up with these higher beings who are going to guide you every inch of the way into revitalizing your whole being, into understanding these changes and being able to bring forth your highest intuition, which is one of the main things they want you to do. But all of these parts of our technology are there when we start to understand who we really are. I used to run a course down at this center as well called The Average Human versus the Potential Human or the Superhuman. And, it was an incredible course to run because the more I spoke about it, the more I gave examples, the more the energy rose in the room and the more people were having personal experiences of this and went on to have many, many personal experiences in their lives. And some really did wake up and accept it, that they are so much more than they've been told they are. So I just wanted to affirm this because in this message in particular, they really want you to wake up and accept that you can be somewhere like going about your day and then think, oh my goodness, I need not to go in that direction right now. I need to go this way. And if you haven't awakened the fact that you have that possibility, it's not going to happen to you. It's going to happen to the man next to you who then suddenly gets off the train, which is going to crash down the line. Do you know what I mean? But we're talking about massive earth shifts. So we really do need to be in our best place. And by asking what's my highest truth right now? That's just one simple thing you can do at every crossroads that you come to in your life. Because if you're going to move somewhere within the next 6 months and change your life, make it be the one that's in your blueprint. And the way you're going to do that is to start to wake the hell up. I'm going to leave it there. I could talk about this stuff for hours, but I am going to do I may do an online live with the average human versus the superhuman or the potential human. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye for now. And I really appreciate people subscribing. Thank you very much for that. And thank you very much for the likes and the comments. Please do so more. You can ask me anything on those comments and I will answer. Thank you for now.